All aboard the Glock Shill Express. Would you trust the owner of a distillery to tell you their whiskey is the best in town while they're 3 shots deep off their own product? Welcome to the Glock Shill Express, a one-way ride through the world of sponsored gun media, hype cycles, and why you shouldn't let content creators with brand obligations choose your first handgun, your home defense weapon, or your wallet decisions. Let's get this out of the way. A lot of big gun channels, especially the ones with massive production budgets, high speed cameras, and perfect lighting, don't survive on honesty. They survive on access. Access to events, access to pre release guns, access to ad money, access to relationships with the very companies they're reviewing. So when Glock drops something new, like the Gen 6, these creators aren't just excited, they're obligated. Because if they're not glowing, if they're not positive, if they're not singing the praises of every tiny upgrade, they lose access. They lose sponsors and they lose revenue stream. This is not a conspiracy, this is pure economics. Let's talk about the new Glock Gen 6, the perfect example of how the hype machine works. Ask yourself this: if any other brand released a new pistol in 2025 that still didn't have a modular fire control unit, still didn't offer the features of competitors like the Ruger RXM, and somehow cost twice as much, would these same creators be calling it revolutionary, game-changing, the best Glock yet, the one you should buy? Or would they tear it apart for being outdated and behind the curve? Be honest. Glock is iterating tiny tweaks, small changes, minor refinements. Meanwhile, other companies are shipping FCU systems, ambi controls, optic cuts as standard, better triggers, better ergos for half the price. But the hype cycle doesn't care because the hype cycle exists to sell, not to inform the audience. So why do people keep falling for it? Because for decades, big brand creators have positioned themselves as trusted uncles of the gun world. But here's the truth. Most of them are not independent reviewers. They are industry partnered entertainers. And there's nothing wrong with that unless you're taking their word as gospel. These creators aren't bad people. They're not villains. They're just caught in an ecosystem where you can't bite the hand that feeds you. You can't criticize the product that sponsors the video. You can't upset the brand that gives you early access and keeps your channel alive. You're not watching reviews. You're watching advertising with a friendly face. And this is why I feel 2026 and onwards belongs to independent content creators. Channels such as Ben Steger, Focus Trip, and a growing wave of independent shooters. These are people who pay for their own gear, test things because they actually use them, don't care about brand loyalty, don't need sponsorship approval, don't need to praise a gun to pay rent. They're honest because they can afford to be, and they're growing because people are waking up. We finally have creators willing to say, this gun just isn't worth the money, there are better options, this feature is outdated, stop buying to the hype, start buying performance. These are the voices we need in 2026. Not salesmen, not hype men, not brand ambassadors, just simply shooters, end users that actually care about what they're putting out to their audience. So here's your wake-up call for the viewer and the message of this video. If a creator's livelihood depends on staying in the good graces of a gun company, that creator cannot give you unbiased advice. Whether it be GBRS and Sig Sauer, John Lovell and Shadow Systems, T-Rex Arms and Honesty, or TFB TV and James Reeves and Glock. If the gun magically has no flaws, that's a red flag. If the review looks like a commercial, then it is. And if you keep hearing, this is the best Glock ever, every time a Glock drops, congratulations, you've discovered the Glock Shill Express, and your ticket was free. So here's your call to action. Stop letting sponsored creators decide what you carry. Stop letting brand loyalty choose your gun. Stop letting hype dictate your wallet. Support independent voices. Support brutal honesty. Support creators who don't owe the industry anything, because the future of firearms belongs to the people who actually shoot the guns, not the people who sell them.